We're investing over $1.5 trillion next year in the military, and we have the strongest, the greatest military by far anywhere in the world, stronger than any other country by far. And thanks to our warriors and their allies, the Israeli Defense Forces today, the Iranian regime has none of those things that we talked about: Navy, Air Force, anti-aircraft capacity, no radar. And again, dozens of their leaders are no longer with us. They're elsewhere.
Some are now wondering whether Trump may still be largely clueless about the Iranian Navy's real capabilities, even after a brief war that was supposed to have revealed just how much damage had actually been inflicted. The IRGC is now stunning many observers with fresh signs of activity in Hormuz, where Mosquito-linked Iranian naval messaging and the reported presence of fast speedboats are reviving questions about Tehran's remaining maritime strength. A new IRGC shocker may be taking shape in Hormuz, as reports about Iranian speedboats collide with bizarre claims about dolphin-related threats, leaving the US Navy facing an increasingly unconventional and hard-to-read challenge. More than 40 IRGC Navy fast attack craft were reportedly spotted in the Strait of Hormuz, a development that is already fueling fresh speculation about Iran's next move in one of the world's most sensitive waterways. According to reports tied to satellite imagery, the speedboats were seen operating in formation between Qeshm Island and the United Arab Emirates, suggesting a display that may have been meant to send a signal as much as perform a patrol. PISINT made the revelation on May 2nd, citing satellite images circulated by OSINT accounts. And that has added another layer of intrigue because the visuals appear to point to a coordinated rather than incidental deployment. A senior Iranian official also told Al Jazeera that Tehran is fully prepared to repel any aggression, reinforcing the impression that the maritime posture may be part of a wider message of readiness and deterrence. The speedboat revelation is especially striking because it comes despite Trump's repeated claims that Iran's navy had been obliterated, leading some observers to question whether the real condition of Tehran's naval capabilities has been understated or misunderstood.
I think most of the people in this room understand that as soon as it's over, it's going to drop like a rock. I think it goes below where it was because there's so much oil. It's not like it would be a problem if there wasn't a lot. There's so much oil out there. But core inflation has dropped. Grocery prices are down. Used car prices are down. Rent is down. The only thing that is up is the gasoline, and that's coming down. But, with all of this, and I say it again, we had to do this little excursion. Because if we didn't, if they had a nuclear weapon, this world would be, it would be a horror. It would be a world that would live in fear. And it should have been done for 47 years by other presidents and other countries, frankly, but it wasn't. They were all afraid of Iran. It's very strong, was a very strong country. We've blown the hell out of them, if you want to know the truth. But we've leashed American energy with that simple policy of drill, baby drill. And I'll tell you, we're producing more oil and gas now than we ever have at any time. And we're investing over $1.5 trillion next year in the military. And we have the strongest, the greatest military by far anywhere in the world, stronger than any other country by far. And thanks to our warriors and their allies, the Israeli Defense Forces today, the Iranian regime has none of those things that we talked about: Navy, Air Force, anti-aircraft capacity, no radar. And again, dozens of their leaders are no longer with us. They're elsewhere. Most importantly, though, thanks to our blockade. The blockade has been unbelievable. They're unable to export any energy, and they're crumbling as an economy.
At the same time, Trump hinted on May 2nd that US-Israeli strikes on Iran might resume amid the continuing deadlock, which is why some analysts may see these naval movements as a warning shot before a potentially renewed phase of confrontation.
So I think we can do this right here instead of at Doral. We're going to Doral. A lot of you are traveling with me. Doing very well with regard to just about everything, but doing very well with regard to Iran. Again, they want to make a deal. They're decimated. They're having a hard time figuring out who their leader is. They don't know who their leader is because their leader is gone. Their former leader, Khamenei. But we'll see. Any questions real fast?
Look, I think it's 14 points. Did I go straight?
Which?
The new 14 points. You come said that Iran is.
No, I haven't. I'm looking at it uphill.
You're looking at a trap.
I'll let you know about it later. But
President, last night you said you might be better off not making a deal with Iran.
Well, I wouldn't have to. I didn't say that. I said that if we left right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild. But we're not leaving right now. We're going to do it so nobody has to go back in 2 years or 5 years.
Mr. President, Mr. President, also said about saying that
They told me about the concept of the deal. They're going to give me the exact wording there, yeah.
Mr. President, last night you also said that only like 85% of Iran's missile-making capabilities has been eliminated.
Correct.
Is that other 15% important? Does the United States need to eliminate that?
Well, I'd like to eliminate, yeah. I'd like to, it'd be a start for them to build up again. And yeah, I would like to eliminate it.
Sir, under what circumstances would you restart military strikes on target?
Well, I don't want to say that. I mean, I can't tell that to a reporter. If they misbehave, if they do something bad, but right now, we'll see. But it's a possibility that could happen, sir.
Mr. President, you said, President, in your letter to Congress, you said the hostilities in Iran that started have been terminated. How can you say that given that the naval blockade is still being militarily enforced?
Well, it's a very friendly blockade. Nobody's even challenging it. Nobody at all is challenging it. Just so you understand, many presidents have been involved in things that are very big. They never had to go through anything with respect to Congress. They considered it to be totally unconstitutional. And the Democrats in Congress that pushed this, and probably a couple of Republicans, they're hurting our negotiating ability, which is infinite right now, and they shouldn't be doing it. It's never happened before. No other president's done it, and I'm not going to be the first. Thank you very much.
President, Iran
Right.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you envision a future where American energy companies are operating inside of Iran, much like Venezuela?
It could be. I'll tell you what, we have a lot of ships coming up to Texas and Louisiana. It's a line of ships. You saw the satellite. We have a line of ships, big ones, 2 million barrels, and they're coming up. I mean, literally hundreds of ships are in line to go to Texas. I mean, they're already started, but we're selling a lot of oil,
Mr. President, why is the U.S. removing troops from Germany? Why is the U.S. removing troops from Germany?
We're going to cut way down, and we're cutting a lot further than 5,000. Thank you very much.
Iran is reportedly considering deploying dolphins fitted with mines in the Strait of Hormuz as part of unconventional options against U.S. naval forces. The reported plan is tied to fears in Washington and the Gulf that Iran may be weighing underwater or kamikaze-style attacks on U.S. warships as talks remain deadlocked. The New York Times reportedly cited these discussions on May 1 amid the ongoing U.S. blockade pressure on Iranian ports and shipping. Iran's reported consideration of such a move comes as hardliners increasingly describe the U.S.-imposed financial crisis and blockade conditions as an act of war. In response to the blockade, Tehran is said to be considering previously unused or unconventional weapons against American warships in the Gulf. According to accounts citing U.S. and Iranian officials, mine-carrying dolphins were among the options discussed in reporting, also linked to the Wall Street Journal. It would not be the first time Iran has been reported to explore unusual maritime tactics in Hormuz, where mines, frogmen, and covert naval tools have long featured in threat assessments. Iran reportedly bought dolphins trained for Soviet naval missions in 2000, with older BBC reporting saying the animals had originally been prepared for combat roles. Those dolphins were reportedly trained to attack enemy divers using harpoons mounted on their backs. The same reporting said they were also trained for suicide-style attacks on ships by carrying explosive mines. The New York Times also reportedly cited the Wall Street Journal in saying the IRGC could deploy submarines into the contested Strait of Hormuz as part of an underwater escalation option. Iran has already threatened undersea infrastructure in Hormuz, and analysts have long warned that cables, mines, and covert naval tools could become part of its pressure strategy. The revelation about possible kamikaze dolphin planning surfaced amid uncertainty over whether any Iran-US understanding or deal can still hold.